But the party wasn't the only loser from the Copeland contest. UKIP suffered its worst by-election performance of this Parliament.
Well, a bit disappointing really, but I think there's probably a bit of tactical voting going on here because the media was reporting it was a two-horse race, so I think people have actually voted tactically. And people also think they've got Brexit, so I think they've probably gone back to their original parties when they'd voted for UKIP to get the referendum, possibly.
So this is how the political map of the county now looks after the loss of Copeland, with Labour MPs in Workington and Barrow and Conservatives in Carlisle and Penrith and the Border. Westmorland Lonsdale held, of course, by Tim Farron for the Lib Dems. Jonathan Arnott, there was a significant drop in the UKIP vote in Copeland, slipping to fourth on top of what happened in Stoke, failing to win that seat. It's a bad night for your party, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably hand on heart expected that it would be difficult for us in Copeland, simply because when you've got a seat which is being fiercely fought by two political juggernauts, the Labour and Conservative parties, it's always going to be difficult for a party with UKIP's resources to avoid getting squeezed, and I'm afraid that's what happened to us in Copeland.
OK. OK, well, let's do a Paul Nuttall. Obviously, no, not the MP for Stoke, as it turned out. You backed him for the leadership very strongly. You know him very well. After all that's gone on with all the claims and counter-claims about Hillsborough, is he still the right leader for the party?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, what's happened with Hillsborough, to be absolutely clear, Paul is someone who was at Hillsborough. He was 12 years old at the time. He was there with family and with close personal friends, and he did know somebody who died at Hillsborough. What's happened is that somebody has put up on his website, without it being fully checked, a story where they've effectively just conflated those two things.
It's very damaging,
said,
wasn't it, then?
You know, and that's something that was done over 5 years ago. So I completely understand it has been damaging. There has been a mistake.
But you retain confidence.
There's a level of that. An error was made many years ago, and it's time to draw a line on that and move on.
OK. Jonathan Arnott, the referendum has done for you, hasn't it? The lesson of Copeland is that the challenge in the north to Labour is coming from the Conservatives, not from UKIP now.
Well, the Copeland is a seat where the Conservatives were in a very strong second place. If we had a by-election somewhere in the northeast where UKIP are in a very strong second place, then I'm sure you'd see something. I'm sure you'd see something very different, whether it's Hartlepool or Blythe Valley, for example. I mean, 11 of the constituencies in the northeast have UKIP in second place at present. So actually, we're in a very strong position to challenge if we can get a positive message out that goes beyond just Brexit.
Jonathan Arnott, UKIP generally hostile to putting up taxes, as we know, but is this the only way to solve the social care crisis?
Well, UKIP on a national level have said that we should be cutting the foreign aid budget so that we're helping with natural disasters and things like that, but not some of the worst excesses that we've been seeing, and to plough that money into the NHS and into adult social care.
Jonathan Arnott, the percentage do look frightening, but as James Airy points out, on average these councils are charging just over £50 a year. Some of them are charging, the price of a portion of fish and chips, to be honest with you, each year. Is it really that much of a problem?
No, I mean, basically we want democracy to be as close as possible to the citizens, so parish and town councils are a great thing. It brings services as close as possible to the citizen. So all of that is good, and when you get a parish or town council charging too much, of course, it's much, much easier for people to take control of that council and to do something about it. It's all democracy.
A lot of these councils, part of the problem, a lot of these councils are not even elected because there's so little interest in what they do. Well,
if people see precepts going on, then what you've just shown in your video there is that people do then do something about it, get involved and do something. Here's where the problem lies, though. If services are being moved from a unitary authority, say, down to a town or parish council, the town or parish council puts the precept up, but does the parent council, as it were, put the council tax down there? And if they don't, then it's just an extra tax on everybody.
OK.